positive and negatives. We have to talk about your failures.
Yeah.
You have been nominated 13 times and lost out to an Oscar.
Yeah.
Which technically makes you Hollywood's biggest loser. How are you with that? And Stanley, are you there to support her?
I'm there to support her.
He loves seeing me lose.
How has Meryl Streep's personal experiences with loss and grief influenced the authenticity and depth of her most iconic performances? Meryl Streep, renowned for her incredible acting career and numerous accolades, has always maintained an air of grace and poise in the public eye. However, beneath the surface, Streep has carried with her a deep personal struggle that she rarely speaks about. While she is celebrated for her talent and longevity in Hollywood, there is a more intimate and tragic side to her story that remains largely hidden from the public: her private loss. Streep's career began to rise in the 1970s when she landed her first major film role in The Deer Hunter, which earned her an Academy Award nomination. During this period, she was also coping with a devastating personal tragedy that left a profound impact on her life. Meryl Streep had fallen deeply in love with actor John Cazale, who is best remembered for his roles in The Godfather and Dog Day Afternoon. They met in 1976 while performing in Shakespeare's Measure for Measure in Central Park, and their connection was instant. Despite his battle with terminal lung cancer, their relationship blossomed. Cazale's illness progressed rapidly, and Streep became his primary caregiver. She stood by his side during treatments, providing emotional support and dealing with the overwhelming fear of losing the man she loved. In 1978, John Cazale passed away at the age of 42, leaving Meryl heartbroken. The loss was incredibly difficult for her, especially given the deep bond they had shared in such a short period. What makes Streep's loss particularly poignant is the fact that she chose to keep much of her grief private. Rather than publicly sharing her pain, she immersed herself in her work, channeling her emotions into her performances. Shortly after Cazale's death, Streep starred in Kramer vs. Kramer, a role that earned her her first Academy Award for Best Actress. Many speculate that her portrayal of Joanna Kramer was influenced by her personal grief, as she was navigating her own emotional turmoil at the time. Meryl Streep's secret struggle is a reminder that even those who seem to have it all can carry profound burdens. The strength she demonstrated in the wake of such a devastating loss, and her ability to continue her career with such vigor, speaks to her resilience and dedication to her craft. Meryl Streep is widely regarded as one of the greatest actresses of all time, with a career spanning over 4 decades. Her ability to bring raw emotion and authenticity to her characters is often noted as a hallmark of her talent. Yet, behind her immense success lies a personal tragedy that deeply shaped her approach to acting: the death of her partner, John Cazale. Streep met Cazale, an actor celebrated for his performances in The Godfather and Dog Day Afternoon, in the mid-1970s, while working on a Shakespeare production in New York. The two quickly developed a strong bond, both personally and professionally. Their relationship was marked by a profound love, but it was tragically short-lived. Cazale was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer, and Streep became his devoted caretaker during his final months. Despite his illness, Cazale continued to work, even starring alongside Streep in The Deer Hunter. Losing Cazale to cancer in 1978, when she was only 29 years old, profoundly impacted Streep. Her grief was intense, and it's believed that this loss changed how she approached her craft. In many ways, her personal tragedy added a new layer of depth to her performances, enabling her to tap into deep emotional reservoirs. Streep's method of acting, already remarkable, became even more potent as she learned to channel her grief and vulnerability into her characters. After Cazale's death, one of her earliest major roles was in Kramer vs. Kramer, 1979, where she played Joanna Kramer, a woman struggling with the emotional complexities of divorce and motherhood. This role won her an Academy Award for Best Actress, and it was clear that Streep was drawing from personal experience. The depth of emotion she brought to the character resonated with audiences and critics alike. It's not hard to imagine that, while portraying Joanna, Streep was also processing her own loss and heartbreak. In the years that followed, Streep took on roles that were often emotionally intense, from Sophie's Choice to The Bridges of Madison County, roles that required vulnerability, pain, and a profound understanding of the human condition. Her ability to embody these complex characters with such grace and authenticity can, in part, be traced back to her personal experience with loss. Grief has a way of altering one's perspective, and for Streep, it became a tool for deepening her connection to her characters and her audience. While Meryl Streep's private life remains largely hidden from public view, her performances offer glimpses into the personal struggles she has faced. The tragedy of losing John Cazale shaped her career, pushing her to explore the depths of human emotion with honesty and rawness. Her ability to translate her own grief into art is what sets her apart as one of the most emotionally intelligent and versatile actors of her time. Meryl Streep is an iconic figure in Hollywood, known for her remarkable performances and numerous accolades. However, what many people don't know is that behind her immense success lies a heartache she rarely speaks about, a hidden pain that shaped her into the resilient and formidable woman she is today. The untold story of Meryl Streep's heartache begins with her relationship with actor John Cazale, a love story that was as beautiful as it was tragic. Streep met Cazale in 1976, toen ze beide hoofdrollen speelden in Shakespeare's Measure for Measure in New York City's Central Park. Their chemistry was immediate, and the two quickly became inseparable. Cazale was already an established actor by the time they met, having starred in critically acclaimed films such as The Godfather and Dog Day Afternoon. Despite his rising fame, Cazale was a private person, and their relationship remained largely out of the public eye. Streep, too, was just beginning to make a name for herself in Hollywood, and their bond was one built on mutual respect and shared passion for their craft. However, their relationship was soon tested when Cazale was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. The diagnosis came as a devastating blow to both of them. Cazale's illness progressed rapidly, and Streep took on the role of caregiver, staying by his side through treatments and hospital visits. Despite the emotional toll, Streep remained steadfast, never leaving Cazale's side, even as his condition worsened. Their love, though brief, was intense, and Streep devoted herself to making his final days as comfortable as possible. Cazale's passing in 1978 left Meryl devastated. The loss of the man she loved, so early in their relationship, was a heartache that she kept hidden from the public for many years. Streep rarely spoke about her grief, instead channeling her emotions into her work. Shortly after Cazale's death, she took on one of her most iconic roles in The Deer Hunter, a film that they had both starred in together. Her performance in the movie was haunting, with many noting that her portrayal carried the weight of her personal loss. What makes this story so poignant is that Meryl Streep chose to keep her grief private, never using it as a way to gain sympathy or attention. Instead, she allowed her hidden heartache to fuel her acting, creating some of the most memorable performances in film history. The untold story of her loss adds a layer of depth to her work that few can fully understand. It's a testament to her strength, her dedication to her craft, and her ability to rise above personal tragedy to become one of the greatest actors of all time. Meryl Streep, known for her extraordinary range and emotion in film, has always maintained a dignified privacy regarding her personal life. While the world admires her for her numerous accolades, few know about the silent grief she has carried for decades, the loss of her partner, John Cazale. It's a story that profoundly affected her, but one she rarely spoke about, choosing instead to keep her pain hidden from the public eye. Streep and Cazale's love story was one filled with immense joy, but overshadowed by impending tragedy. The two met in 1976, and despite the brevity of their relationship, it was marked by deep affection and understanding. Cazale was already an acclaimed actor, with unforgettable roles in films like The Godfather, and his relationship with Streep was built on a shared passion for acting and mutual respect. Their connection was instant and powerful, but it was tested when Cazale was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer in 1977. At the time, Streep was on the brink of stardom, but instead of allowing her career to overshadow her personal life, she made a life-altering choice. She stood by Cazale, becoming his primary caregiver during his final months. Streep's devotion to Cazale was unwavering, and their bond remained strong even as his health deteriorated. Together, they faced the emotional and physical toll of his illness, knowing that time was running out. Cazale's death in 1978 left Streep shattered. The grief she experienced was profound, yet she kept it almost entirely private. Rather than letting the world see her pain, Streep chose to internalize her sorrow, and that decision shaped much of her emotional journey as both a person and an actor. This silent grief was something she carried with her for years, rarely speaking publicly about Cazale or the impact his death had on her. Streep's ability to channel her grief into her work became a hallmark of her acting style. Just months after Cazale's passing, she starred in Kramer vs. Kramer, a performance that won her the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Her portrayal of a woman grappling with personal challenges resonated with audiences, and it's clear that her real-life experiences of loss were deeply embedded in her performance. Despite the depth of her pain, Streep chose not to exploit her grief for public sympathy. Instead, she allowed her art to speak for her, using her emotions to bring authenticity to her roles. The loss of John Cazale was a defining moment in Meryl Streep's life, one that she never fully revealed to the public. Yet, her silent grief has shaped her into the actor and person she is today, offering a glimpse into the private heartache that lingers beneath her celebrated career. Meryl Streep, with her remarkable poise and countless accolades, has always kept her personal life largely out of the spotlight. While the public knows her as a legendary actress, few are aware of the deep and private loss she endured early in her career, one that shaped her in ways most will never understand. This hidden heartache, which she kept from the world for decades, revolves around the untimely death of her partner, John Cazale, a story that remains quietly tucked behind her public persona. Streep and Cazale's relationship began in 1976, a love story that blossomed on the stage of New York City's Shakespeare in the Park. Streep, just beginning her acting career, found herself captivated by Cazale, an actor with an already impressive portfolio, including his role in The Godfather. Their romance was swift and intense, a meeting of minds and hearts grounded in a shared passion for the arts. But this newfound love soon faced an unimaginable challenge when Cazale was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. The news of Cazale's illness came as a devastating blow to both actors. Streep, who was still building her career, suddenly found herself at a crossroads. Yet, rather than pulling away from the relationship, she committed herself fully to being by Cazale's side. As his condition worsened, Streep became his caregiver, sacrificing her burgeoning career to support the man she loved. The couple's bond grew stronger as they faced the inevitable reality of Cazale's condition. In 1978, after a brave battle with cancer, John Cazale passed away at just 42 years old, leaving Meryl heartbroken. The loss was staggering, but Streep chose to keep her grief private. She never sought to capitalize on the tragedy or use it as a talking point in her public life. Instead, she buried her sorrow deep inside, protecting the memory of her relationship with Cazale from the prying eyes of the world. Meryl Streep's private loss remained hidden for many years, known only to those closest to her. In interviews, she rarely spoke about Cazale or the emotional toll his death had on her. Instead, she focused on her work, using her emotions as fuel for her craft. Shortly after Cazale's passing, Streep took on the role of Joanna Kramer in Kramer vs. Kramer, a role that won her critical acclaim and an Academy Award. It is said that the raw emotion she displayed in the film was partly inspired by the grief she was still processing. By choosing to keep her loss private, Meryl Streep was able to protect her personal life from the media's intrusion, preserving the sanctity of her relationship with Cazale. The private loss that she kept from the world not only shaped her career, but also solidified her as a person who values emotional depth, loyalty, and resilience. Meryl Streep's love story with actor John Cazale is one of Hollywood's most poignant yet little-known tales. The two met in 1976 while performing in Shakespeare's Measure for Measure in Central Park, New York. Their connection was instant and undeniable, blossoming into a deep, loving relationship. At the time, Cazale was already recognized for his powerful performances in The Godfather and Dog Day Afternoon, while Streep was just beginning her rise in the acting world. Unfortunately, their love was short-lived. In 1977, Cazale was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. Despite the devastating news, Streep stood by him through every step of his treatment, becoming his primary caregiver. Their bond, forged in the shared experiences of love and art, grew even stronger during this difficult time. Streep's dedication to Cazale during his illness is a testament to the depth of their relationship, even as the shadow of impending loss loomed large. Cazale's illness progressed quickly, and in March 1978, he passed away at the age of 42, leaving Streep heartbroken. The loss was immense, especially for someone so young and at the cusp of her career. In her grief, Streep rarely spoke publicly about their relationship, choosing instead to keep the pain private. The love between Meryl Streep and John Cazale, though tragically cut short, deeply influenced Streep's life and career. Their story is a reminder of the quiet, profound grief that can exist behind the scenes, even for those who seem larger than life. Streep's ability to move forward and build a legendary career despite this heartbreak speaks volumes about her resilience and strength. Meryl Streep's performance in Kramer vs. Kramer is one of her most iconic, earning her the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 1980. What many don't realize, however, is that this role came at a time when she was grappling with immense personal tragedy, the death of her partner, John Cazale, just a year prior. This hidden grief profoundly shaped her portrayal of Joanna Kramer, a mother caught in the emotional turmoil of divorce and parenthood. The film itself deals with the complexities of relationships, separation, and the heart-wrenching choices that often accompany family life. For Streep, these themes likely mirrored her own experiences of loss and navigating life after tragedy. In many ways, Joanna's struggles to reconcile her personal needs with the responsibilities of parenthood may have echoed Streep's own emotional battles in the wake of Cazale's death. Meryl Streep's performance in Kramer vs. Kramer was not just a triumph of acting, but also a reflection of her ability to channel her personal grief into her work. The raw, emotional honesty she brought to the role helped solidify her place as one of the most talented and versatile actresses of her generation. The death of John Cazale had a lasting impact on Meryl Streep, shaping not only her career, but also her personal life in profound ways. Cazale passed away in 1978 after a brief but intense battle with terminal lung cancer, leaving Streep, at just 29 years old, to grapple with overwhelming grief. The experience of losing someone she deeply loved affected her emotionally and spiritually, influencing how she approached relationships and life moving forward. In the years following Cazale's death, Streep chose to keep her personal life out of the spotlight. She rarely spoke about the pain she endured, maintaining a private demeanor that allowed her to shield her heartbreak from the public eye. This tragedy may have deepened her resilience, a quality often noted by those close to her. The profound sadness she carried influenced her ability to portray complex, emotional roles on screen, allowing her to bring a level of authenticity and vulnerability to her performances. Not long after Cazale's passing, Streep met sculptor Don Gummer, whom she married later in 1978. While many were surprised at how quickly she remarried, Streep's relationship with Gummer was a source of stability and healing. Gummer provided the support and companionship that Streep needed to rebuild her life after such a devastating loss. They went on to have 4 children together, and their enduring marriage became a cornerstone of Streep's personal happiness. Though Cazale's death remains a private part of Streep's history, it shaped her in ways that continue to be felt today. His passing taught her about love, loss, and the fragile nature of life lessons that she carried into her personal relationships and her illustrious career. Meryl Streep is widely regarded as one of the most talented and versatile actresses of her generation, known for her uncanny ability to portray complex emotions with incredible depth. One factor that contributed to this emotional range is the personal tragedy she experienced early in her career, the loss of her partner, John Cazale. His death in 1978, after a brief battle with cancer, left Streep devastated, and though she rarely speaks about it publicly, the experience profoundly shaped her approach to acting. Cazale's death forced Streep to confront the raw, painful realities of grief at a young age. This emotional journey gave her a wellspring of experiences to draw from, allowing her to bring greater authenticity and intensity to the characters she portrayed. Streep has always been known for her ability to fully inhabit her roles, and her personal loss added a level of nuance and depth to her performances that few can replicate. Shortly after Cazale's passing, Streep starred in Kramer vs. Kramer, a film that dealt with the emotional fallout of a divorce and custody battle. Many believe that the personal pain she was still processing at the time enabled her to deliver such a powerful, emotionally charged performance. Her portrayal of a mother struggling with her own identity and decisions resonated deeply with audiences and critics alike, earning her an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Throughout her career, Streep has continued to channel her personal experiences of grief and loss into her work, making her performances feel authentic and relatable. Her ability to convey a wide range of emotions with subtlety and precision is one of the reasons she is considered a master of her craft, and her tragic loss played a significant role in shaping her as an actress. Meryl Streep, renowned for her extraordinary acting skills, is also known for her philanthropic efforts and advocacy work. While she has achieved acclaim for her film roles, her personal experiences with loss have also driven her to support important causes, particularly cancer awareness. Her silent struggle with the death of her partner John Cazale, who passed away from lung cancer in 1978, has influenced her commitment to raising awareness about the disease. Cazale's battle with cancer was a pivotal moment in Streep's life, one that she has rarely discussed in public. The grief she endured after his death was profound, and while she kept her personal suffering private, it spurred her to engage in efforts to combat cancer. Streep has used her platform to support cancer research and promote awareness, understanding firsthand the impact that such a diagnosis can have on individuals and their loved ones. In the years following Cazale's death, Streep participated in various charitable events and fundraisers aimed at supporting cancer research and patient care. She has lent her voice to campaigns that seek to improve early detection and treatment options, reflecting her personal connection to the cause. Her involvement has helped bring attention to the importance of cancer research, ensuring that the fight against the disease continues to receive crucial support. Streep's advocacy work is not just a reflection of her personal loss, but also a testament to her resilience and desire to make a difference. Her support for cancer awareness underscores her commitment to using her platform for positive change, driven by her own experiences with grief and loss. Through her efforts, she has honored Cazale's memory and contributed to the broader fight against cancer. Meryl Streep's impact on cinema is undeniable, marked by a career filled with critically acclaimed performances and a reputation for her meticulous approach to her craft. However, behind her success lies a personal tragedy that profoundly influenced her filmmaking approach. The death of her partner, John Cazale, from cancer in 1978. This hidden heartache played a significant role in shaping how Streep approaches her roles and the filmmaking process. Streep and Cazale's relationship was a powerful bond forged through their mutual love for acting. When Cazale was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer, Streep chose to focus on caring for him, a decision that deeply affected her. The intense grief she experienced following his death became a source of profound personal reflection and growth. This emotional depth has since informed her approach to filmmaking, adding a layer of authenticity to her performances. In the wake of Cazale's death, Streep's work began to reflect a deeper understanding of human emotion and resilience. Streep's ability to convey complex feelings and subtle nuances in her characters is a direct result of her own journey through grief and healing. Moreover, Streep's personal heartache has influenced her choice of roles and the projects she takes on. She has often gravitated towards characters who face significant emotional challenges, bringing her own experiences into her portrayals. This personal connection to her roles adds a layer of sincerity that resonates with audiences and contributes to her reputation as one of the greatest actresses in film history. Streep's hidden heartache, while rarely discussed, has had a profound impact on her filmmaking approach. It has deepened her emotional range, enriched her performances, and solidified her legacy as an actress who brings both personal depth and professional excellence to her craft.